over 20 years now. I didn't put anything on paper. I didn't write anything down. I couldn't put into words on paper what an amazing man Ken was. We met in Ottawa, and when I first met him, I didn't really care for him. I found him to be cold, pretentious, a bit of a diva. Then he got to be a bigger diva. Then he became a great diva. But as our time in Ottawa together, he needed a place to stay in transit from Ottawa to Montreal. So Peter Bonham asked if I could billet somebody at my house, a dancer. He didn't tell me it was Ken. So I said, sure, no problem. So Ken came and stayed with me for 6 weeks. And that first evening, we became instant friends. We were inseparable for that summer. Every night, we stayed together. We went out together. We ate together. Even when he moved back to his apartment for the rest of the summer, we just saw each other every day. He told me towards the end of the summer that he was moving back to Montreal, which I knew, and asked if I would go to Montreal with him to help him look for an apartment. We got to Montreal. I was just there for the weekend. Ken didn't find an apartment, but I did. There was no way that we were going to part ways. Katie, a couple of weeks ago, described our friendship as yin and yang. And it was so true that that's what we were to each other. Katie calls us yin and yang. Some people might say Batman and Robin. Ken and I'd like to refer to ourselves as Mary and Rhoda. Yeah, Ken was Mary. I was always Rhoda. People say that they really didn't know him, that they didn't get to know him. But I think, if we think about it, people did know him. We knew him to be private. We knew him to have integrity. We knew him to be an amazing dancer. I can't tell you how many times I would run into somebody who thought they didn't know Ken. And somewhere, if it was a good conversation or a bad conversation, somewhere in there, at the beginning, middle, and end of the conversation, that person would say, well, you know Ken. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard, you know Ken. His love was so big, for his friends, his family, his lover, his mother, that he didn't know how to express it. His biggest strength was his privacy, was his independence, but it was also his Achilles tendon. It was his kryptonite. I was fortunate enough to get to know him, and not because he opened up, and not because he would blab his true feelings to me. Just over the years, I got to know him, and I got to know when he wasn't fine, when he said he was fine. I was very fortunate to have him in my life and to go through life with the title as best friend. I honor that, and I'm going to carry that forever. I have a hole in my heart, a huge hole in my heart that happened on the 28th of January. And I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know, how is this ever going to heal? And my father said to me, that's a good hole, Brett. That hole you have in your heart is the piece of your heart that you gave to your friend Ken to take with him. So it kind of makes it feel better that a piece of me did leave with him. I would want a piece of me to be with him, because I will carry him forever in my heart. He was like, if you could picture a rushing river, and you're going down it, and you have nothing to grab onto, and then there's that very old tree and that strong tree branch. That's what Ken was for me for so many years. And I'm so honored in this last year I got to be his branch. I'm so thrilled I got to meet his family. He really, really kept those two lives separate, you know. There was a time, I think I was up at the hospital with Linda and Mom, and we were talking, and Ken was just looking at us. Linda had asked something about when was Katie coming. I answered the question. And Ken was just like looking like terrified that these two worlds were now starting to collide. But I thank him for bringing these two worlds together. I have new friends. I have new family. The day he passed, I literally collapsed on the floor when I walked in. And the first person to comfort me within 15 to 30 minutes of his passing was his mother. She was out of her chair and holding me. I was embarrassed, but I now realize where Ken gets his strength from. I see his mom, and I am so impressed. She impresses me like Ken impresses me. And I am so honored to know her today. So when we think of Ken, think of that time that he made you laugh, the time that he made you cry, the time that he made you mad. Carry him with you. He'll be with us always. And I just want to thank the Roys so much for getting Louis and I here for this. Thank you.